right, Matt, so we got the phone call, right? We got the phone call from an investor. He got this property under contract, did his due diligence, and he feels like he can make money with this one, and he actually closed on it already. And so he called us for our Uprise Project Management Services. So Matt, why don't you tell the people real quick what our process was up to this point in terms of what we did for the investor and how we helped them be prepared to rehab this property.
So once the investor let us know that he was interested in project management services, we sent him the intake form. He provides us just general information about the project, his budget that he had in mind to keep the project on track for his strategy to flip this property. I've walked the property already, and I've provided the scope of work that we create on the Uprise project management side. We gave him the scope of work so he can give it to the hard money lender and the budget that I think it would.
Now, Matt, do we just make up the scope of work and run with it, or how does that process?
No. So after I came up with the scope of work, we sent that to the contractors, and we had 4 contractors come out and bid this property. 4? 4.
Guys, some of y'all getting 1, maybe 2 on your best day. 4.
No, we had four contractors bid. The budget for this project that the investor gave us was $60,000. After we had the foundation inspected and we got the measurement report back, it was less than a ½ inch off, so we're not going to touch the foundation on this one, which allowed us to stay in that $60,000 budget.
Right.
Some of the contractors came in closer to the $70,000, some of them came closer to the $50,000 mark, but we ended up choosing one that was kind of in the middle based on this investor's needs.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And so that's how the scope of work process goes. That's how the bid process goes. That's great. So how did the investor select the bid? Did we just send them all the bids and say, let us know which one you want to pick? Tell them about our process and what our admin team does with the bids.
Donna is our project management admin, and she has a scope of work, a bid comparison sheet. And the bid comparison sheet just breaks down line by line whatever the contractors have bid, so you can see what the contractors bid across the board for certain items. So if you're doing like a bathroom remodel, you can see that one of them bid $3,000 for a bathroom, the other one bid $5,000 for the bathroom remodel, and it breaks it down a little bit more in detail. So it's.
And what I love about that bid comparison is sometimes, guys, when you get bids, they literally look like apples and oranges, even though it's for the same scope of work, just because different contractors write different bids certain ways. And so we actually help you guys dissect the bids, right? So you can look and be able to make the best decision for you and for your project. All right, Matt, talk about, we talked about scope of work. Now talk about timeline. What's that process look like? How'd that come about?
So the contractors give us their timelines, and for this project, I had contractors telling me it would take 6 weeks. One of them said it would take 8 weeks. And
on this project?
This project. And another one said it would take 10 weeks. So I took the longest bid of the 10 weeks, and we ran with that. The contractor that we picked had only said that it would take 8 weeks to complete, so we added 2 weeks on our end for a contingency, just in case any hiccups happen with permits and stuff like that.
Right. And guys, always remember, setting proper expectations. That's what we do here, right? A lot of times contractors will tell you what they think you want to hear just to win the job. I'm just keeping it real. And so with our project management services, we're going to tell you what they said, but we're also going to set the proper expectations for you so you can plan not just for the project, but for your money and your time frame as well.
Yep, it's important.
All right, Matt, it's so hot outside. I'm thankful that we're finally inside the house. But I now see we got our work cut out for us, right? So tell me, what are we gonna do to the home? What did you see? And yeah, how did you start creating the scope of work?
Well, it's also hot inside because there's no AC in here right now. AC is out, but that's gonna be addressed. When I first walked in, I saw this crack in the ceiling, and that triggered a foundation repair or a foundation inspection, so we can come out and see how bad it is. After we looked at it, it's less than a ½ inch off in the worst area, which is in the front. So I don't think there's anything that we need to address there. We can press on to the next phases of interior remodel.
Yeah, and you know how I got the twinkle toes, and I certified we're good.
Certified twinkle toes?
There we go.
Awesome.
All right, Matt, so I'm looking at this kitchen. It's not a big kitchen.
It's pretty small.
It's huge, but this is not even a big kitchen.
It's small.
Yeah, so.
There's a way to make it feel bigger, at least. We want to take out this wall, bring out the countertop.
Hold up. With our services, people can take out walls?
Yeah, obviously. Got to. Take out the wall, bring out the countertop a bit more and have a little overhang bar on this side so you can put a couple bar stools. We do have to also flip the sliding glass door that's on this side of the wall because you can't see it from there, but the door opens up to where it kind of conflicts with what we're trying to do, so we can make it all work. Talking about potentially moving the fridge from where it's at to make this look a little bit cleaner, but we'd have to flip fridge on that side where the oven is. Instead of doing the wall oven and the separate stove, do just a stove oven combo on this side, just to give it more usable space, because right now you get a lot of cabinet space taken up.
So are we keeping these cabinets?
Oh, cabinets are coming out. No, everything in the kitchen's coming out. This is a full gut. And getting the this fur down, we'd like to get this taken out, but there's some vents in there, so it depends if we can relocate the vents and the ductwork into the attic, but that may have to stay, unfortunately.
Yeah, so guys, full gut, a lot of work, it's no problem.
So standing in the master bathroom, there's not much space to work with. We're gonna rip out this tile shower. We were gonna make it larger, but the HVAC unit is sitting on the other side of this wall, so we're stuck with just this size single stand-in master. It works. Gonna replace the door, replace all the tile, replace these fixtures, and rip this little towel rack out and put something nicer there, maybe frame it out with a little soap box. Replace the vanity because the vanity can't be saved, new sink, new sheetrock all around, so full master gut in here. So in this master bathroom, we don't have much space to work with. We gotta work with what we got. We were gonna make this walk-in shower a little bigger by pushing the wall out, but there's a HVAC unit right there. Can't move that. So have to rip out all the tile, rip out the little towel rack that's in there, frame out a soap box, give you something to put your soaps in, replace the door, all new fixtures. I mean, this shower is just kind of dated and done. Replace all the sheetrock, get a new vanity cabinet, new cabinets down here, new sink, new mirror, new light fixture. Everything in here's just gotta go.
So Matt, you brought us into the utility room, but I mean, isn't it just flooring and paint?
Basically, but when you see this leak and you see how soft this sheetrock got, I'm worried about mold and rotted wood behind this wall. So we're gonna have to rip out this whole wall just to make sure that everything's okay. If anything.
Hold on, you caught this leak?
Oh yeah, when I was walking through, I saw it leaking. So, you gotta make sure to catch that.
Right, and guys, time and time again, investors will buy properties and say, oh, it's just cosmetic, no big deal. But they don't know the red flags to watch out for that make that budget go up, right? And so again, that's one of the values of our project management services. It's not just your eyes, it's not just the contractor's eyes, but it's our project manager's eyes as well. So we're in the garage?
Used to be the garage. It's now an addition. We were going back and forth with the investor on do we try to enclose this properly and get it permitted. The ultimate decision was no, because the comps in the area don't have additions typically sold. So we had to look at the comps and make sure that it's not worth adding that extra square foot. This room is about 500 square feet. So instead of enclosing it and trying to get it counted as extra square footage for the house, we're just gonna take out the unpermitted electrical work that's around. These lights, I'm not sure if they're connected properly either, so probably gonna get rid of those and put some better light fixtures in here. Trim out the windows, trim out the door. Unfortunately, we don't have it in the budget to convert it back to a garage, but we do have it to be able to paint this floor gray. So we're gonna epoxy this gray, and
the buyer can do what they want with the space.
Yeah, they can do what they want with the space. They can either convert it back to a garage, they can use it as an extra storage room, but it is extra room that we can't count, unfortunately.
Right. And guys, it's so important when you have spaces like this to keep in mind when an inspector comes into the property, if we're gonna do other major work in the house, if we're gonna replace electrical, is the inspector gonna want to come into this garage? Is he gonna, flag a whole bunch of things for the negative? And so these are things that we let the investors know ahead of time so we can take care of these issues before they become bigger issues.
Absolutely.
All right, Matt, so we looked at the inside, but we cannot forget about the exterior, right? As soon as I walked up, I told you that looks like a bad roof. Tell us what's gonna happen on the outside.
That roof is shot. So we're gonna do a new roof. We're going to keep the brick the same color, not gonna paint the brick, just paint all the wood siding, so sand it, pressure wash it and paint it, replace any of the rotted fascia that we got. That's about it. And then landscaping, because you got these giant bushes in front and these nasty potted plants that you got to get rid of.
And I'm looking at the neighborhood, and here's what's funny. Everybody has a new or newer roof. You catch that?
Yep.
And so that's another thing for investors, is when you go into a neighborhood and you're looking to buy a property, look at the other roofs. If it looks like everyone has had a new roof within the last 2 years, there's probably a hailstorm that happened recently, or just, you know, everyone's houses got built around the same time. It's time to replace roofs. And so even if we couldn't see that this roof was shot, which we can, that would be another indication that we want to get the roof inspected.
All right, so now you got a taste of what it's like to prepare to renovate a property. Project Management Services does a lot of work in between, before demo starts and the first hammer swung. We've got so much to do, right?
What's crazy about that is so many investors I see will buy a property and literally within like 2 days be like, all right, contractor, go ahead. And they wonder why during the project they have so many change orders, so many problems come up, because Matt, they don't do enough of their due diligence up front, right?
You gotta do your homework.
You gotta do your homework, guys. So guys, if you got the time to do it, if you got the systems and process to do it, then great, keep doing it. But if you don't, hit us up, Uprise Project Management Services, here to serve you.
There you go.
Thank you. All right. Look at the inside.
Start again. Sorry, it didn't start.